Yeah, let's just ignore the fact that I completely stopped dead in my tracks after the Medusa heads disappeared because I was just about done with that stage. But anyway, here's a difficulty rating for you. I give this place a 7 out of 10. I was considering giving it an 8, but the reason I didn't was because most of the level really isn't that bad. The upscrolling room with the bone pillars and the room with the harpies and the flea men, honestly not too bad, just reaction. The bone pillars can sometimes get you, but I mean, as long as you have your whip handy and know when to attack, possibly even take your time a little bit like I did, it's not too terribly bad. In that axe knight at the end, there is a spot where you can hit him, and as long as you're whipping, he cannot hit you. And the upscrolling room after that, absolute breeze. So that hurts the score quite a bit. Obviously, the room at the very end gets that big uphaul in the score with the birds and the fishmen. It's mostly the birds. Having to deal with birds in a room where you basically have to make a sea path and having to deal with 4 of those all in the same room. The reason the causeway room with the birds and the fishmen wasn't too bad was because you're going in a straight line. Here you have to start at one end and finish at the exact same end. And if you get hit, your run's over. You're fucked. And, I mean, to be honest, the fishmen were the least of my worries in this case. I mean, they were really bad. They were at their worst, but they weren't my biggest concern. My biggest concern, obviously, was the birds because of their random flight patterns. It's just awful. And then you have Doppelganger. This version of Doppelganger actually isn't as bad as the other versions of the Doppelganger. So that's another reason why I nerfed it a point from what I was originally going to give it. And I beat him on my second time around. Usually I've beaten him on my first try. I don't know why I've been beating him on my first try. I've just been getting lucky, I guess. But honestly, he has very little health. I don't know, as long as you whip and keep a relative distance from him, you're pretty safe. You'll never get hit by his boomerangs. It's not as bad as it could be. We're going to see some very awful versions of the Doppelganger later on. So, 7 out of 10 for the inner halls. Most definitely the hardest level of the game. And with that behind us, we have one level left, the Castle Keep. And that one should be very interesting to say the least. I mean, the first room is going to have its own set of shenanigans.